We have today Grayson Ho, who is a YouTuber and also a content creator on LinkedIn. And he's also a founder of AI Builder Lab. And in this interview and a podcast, we'll try to understand his journey of how he has been developing things on AI and how does he look, how AI and agents will evolve into. So thanks a lot, Grayson, for doing this and welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Akash, for the introduction. Yeah, I really love to excited to share what I have learned so far in the past few months.
Yeah. So Grayson, if you could tell us, your how was your journey? I see that you also create content on YouTube and LinkedIn, and your experience of building that community around that AI agent. If you could speak a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. So my journey actually, my engineering career started off as being a mobile engineer. So previously, before I formed this community, I was a tech lead at a fintech company called Revolut, which I helped, them ship products to millions of users. And that experience like taught me how to ship fast, solving complex problems and work with systems. But I'm always curious, like, what's the next step afterwards? So when I just saw AI agents and automation started to take off, like I saw a huge gap. So there's a lot of hype, but very, very few real practical systems that actually help businesses to create value. So I began experimenting with, creating workflows using tools like n8n and just kind of sharing what I've learned in the community. And since then, I started posting workflows on my YouTube channel, and it grew because people actually love this hands-on tutorials. And then later on, I found that this could be an opportunity to actually form a community, and that's how we got here. We got 1,000 plus builders just learning together, sharing their templates, and even some of them started their own AI automation companies.
Got it. That's nice because there are a couple of workflows which I have also learned, especially the RAG which you built. So yeah, you're doing a great job there. So
Thank you.
I'd also like to ask you, how did you, got attracted to this n8n tool, and did you also try other agent, which are available on the market, and how do you compare it in terms of the traditional coding which exists?
Yep. So I got really attached to n8n these days because the simplicity of how it kind of abstract all the complex stuff when you're building AI agents, and also like it kind of contributes to the speed of iteration. So like compared to some traditional coding method, right? We have a very famous framework called LangChain. And this is like coding-based framework where you can spin out AI agents, calling tools and things. But then most of the time, people actually struggle with, setting up the environment with all those boilerplates until like they may be spending 2, 3 days just to set up a template. But with any N, it's essentially like a visual framework. You just drag and drop literally after 15 minutes with some correct configurations. You already see some results. So I think this kind of visual framework opens a new layer, also about how we approach, building systems. So instead of focus on syntax, we really think holistically, what are the business goals that I'm trying to solve? What is the bigger picture? Instead of like just dealing with those engineering hurdles.
So are there any other agent tools also which you have experimented with before you actually landed upon n8n?
Yep. So before I was using LangChain, which the coding framework, and then yeah, I mean, I'm also sharing my personal experience when I was trying to build a simple, two LM chain, which basically just use the OpenAI API and calling some tools. I actually spent just 1, 2 days like grinding through the documentations, and the result was even not that good. Like I have to do a lot of debugging and fixes. And I also come across like make.com, which is another popular automation tool, but then comparatively, I think n8n just have better support and a community of spinning up AI agents.
Hmm, got it. So, if you could, in your own words, describe what an agent is for the audience, and also, have you faced initially when you started working with agent, what the problems that you started facing during that experimentation phase?
Yeah, so I think in the simplest term, AI agent is like a smart assistant beyond just being a chatbot. So it can actually take action on your behalf. So an important concept is like the tool calling part. So most of the time, imagine like 5 years ago, you're just chatting with a chatbot and then just give you a simple answer. But nowadays, it can actually do actions like, reading instructions, making decisions, sending an email, connecting to your Google Calendar, schedules events, and things like that. So just like next level when it can actually take actions. And regarding hurdles, I think it's back to the like original motivation, like what do you actually want this AI agent for? I think a lot of cases we try to overcomplicate things. We need to build AI agent to solve this problem, but most of the time we actually don't need AI, but we simply need some augmentation of AI. So for example, um, what's the difference between an AI agent and an AI workflow is that AI agent actually has a brain to actually make decisions, but AI workflow simply it's something you lay out the path and then you use some final touches with AI to augment the flow. So I think it's really important to distinguish these two elements.
Got it. But I
Yeah.
also see that you build a lot of tutorial around RAG, also the avatar and
Yeah.
some auto posters. But how do you decide what you want to build? Is it something that you want to teach people, that's why you build it? Or how do you decide the use cases that you want to
Mhm.
build for?
Yep. So first, I think I would probably use this as like I guess like three major considerations. First, it's like the usefulness. So just kind of seeing the demand of this technology, seeing the demand of this, let's say API or video editing tool or like that kind of thing. So if there are a lot of use cases, people actually ask for it, then it's a signal that it's gonna be useful to it's gonna gain traction. And then I guess like the second thing, it's whether it's fun. So, I posted some videos about, generating POV videos, which are actually kind of trendy back then in TikTok. And also it gains a lot of eyeballs attention. So I guess like fun is also one thing to you know, experiment with agents and get some essential feedback. And then the third is like kind of general, just kind of unlock new learnings. So when I was like doing all those demos, sometimes I haven't actually used them before. So I was kind of like learning by building in public, and the result is just like amazing.
So if you could also speak about, the major ingredients of building an agent, and
Yeah.
how do you go from a specific idea that you have which you want to solve or a problem you want to solve, and you building a functional agent. So how does that process looks like in your mind, and then you execute it?
Okay, that's a good question. I think first I would probably talk about the mindset part, which is just kind of being small and practical and focus on the problem. So most of the time, I guess when we're given a problem, it's ambiguous. So we're willing to gather more requirements from the stakeholder. Like, maybe sometimes they didn't mention all the requirements. So you really have to keep asking questions using first principle until you really picture how the system should be like. And then second is like you need to identify the important tools that needed to fulfill those requirements. For example, if let's say you're AI consultant and then your client wants to, how to publish content faster. So you need to
Hmm.
research into tools like, content APIs, like all those scheduling APIs. And then you need to research into how to do copywriting, how to generate videos and things like that. So identify all those tools. And then lastly, it's like kind of stitching all the things together. So that comes into the workflow part, where we actually need to build a scalable workflow, or I mean, sometimes you just need to make it useful so that you just kind of fulfill those requirements on autopilot. And that's, just how automation is so great these days.
Got it. So if what would be your advice to beginners, who would, start building agents either on n8n or any other applications? What advice would you like to give them?
Yep. So I think similar to people who try to build SaaS or like build things in general, it's try to build as small as possible in the beginning. So if we talk about any end automation in general, so a lot of people feel proud of their complex solution. So like they may have like 100 nodes in a single template or something like that. But I would actually suggest that to do against that because the more complex your system, the less likely that you're gonna, explain its value. So really think about what's the simplest approach, the easiest approach, but delivering the max value. So yeah, just in general, if you remember one thing, use less nodes when you're experimenting with any end.
Hmm. Got it. If you could also, show us some workflow which is your favorite and which you think, people would like to see or learn from it, what would that be? Probably you can share your screen as well.
Okay, let me just pick one example.
Sure.
I guess I'll use one video that I recently
Okay.
posted. It's actually quite simple, but it tells beginner how they can kickstart the AI agent building journey very easily. So let me just kind of share my screen. 1 second. Okay, so it's actually a Telegram bot that I just posted a video yesterday, but it's very simple. So if you look at the screen, it's literally just, I guess, 6 nodes here. But what it does here, if you just kind of, let me just stop the bot. But basically, I'll explain what this template does. It has a Telegram trigger and it has a Telegram response. Essentially, what I'm doing is trying to connect an AI agent brain with, a popular user chat interface, which is Telegram. And then it has like three simple, tools or things that are connected with. So it's connected with OpenAI chat model. So with this thing, it becomes like a ChatGPT. And it also connects to a simple memory bank, which is like you can actually talk to like a real person. But what I'm going to talk about more is actually, even with connecting one single tool, it really makes a huge difference when beginners try to build AI agents. So this tool is essentially just a Google Calendar fetch event tool. Gives me all the events that I'm scheduling today. So I can actually do something like when I talk with my Telegram personal assistant, I can do something like, what are my, calendar events today? And then it just kind of tells me I have this podcast with you. And if I
Okay.
just go to execution, you can see that things are running in the background. So I guess like it's not really that complex, but then when beginners try to build AI agents, they realize, okay, that's how the tool calling actually works.
Hmm.
Telegram has knowledge beyond just, general knowledge or being a chatbot.
Got
So I
it.
guess that gives you some understanding for that.
Got it. So also on the n8n part, I understand it's an open source, but on the
Yeah.
cloud you would have to take the subscription, but you can also host it locally. So what model do you suggest, and how can people, decide what should they be doing?
Yeah, so good thing is that when beginners start with any end, they can actually have 14 days free trial. So I always suggest do the simplest approach, just do the free trial and test it with it, see if you like it. And then when they're thinking about being more serious to build more workflows, starting their AI consultancy or things like that, then definitely do the self-hosting part, which just kind of lowers your monthly burn. And then you also have a lot of other options like like using community nodes more easily and also just do a bunch of optimizations.
Got it. I just have one more question. When you build something on the n8n, right? For example, I've seen a lot of workflows being created for RAG. Some people have even built it for fine tuning. Do you understand those logics from some places before you execute it? How do you decide? Because there is also a difference between, say, RAG and agentic RAG. How do you learn
Mhm.
this and then see, okay, how do I implement this n8n?
Yeah, so I guess for myself, first I have a really good content feed across all my socials.
Hmm.
So, I got people from LinkedIn that are teaching this concept. I subscribe to some newsletters. Sometimes I also like reference some other YouTube videos. So I guess it's just like I have a good knowledge loop about, my profiles and things like that. And then second is just kind of dig deeper the same way you learn other technologies. Like it could be backend, it could be front end, mobile engineering, and things like that. Kind of like get through the beginner's part. I think a lot of people just sometimes jump right into building, dragging and dropping without understanding the core concept. So spend maybe 1, 2 days really understanding how that actually works in theory before you drag and drop stuff. But I guess like for myself, mostly just learning from the other social channels.
Got it. I also saw a latest update on n8n, which is probably rolling out, where you can actually ask on the n8n itself what you want to build, and it starts building things, which is kind of a much update where you don't even have to drag and drop stuff. So I think that's a
Yeah.
new thing. I've not seen it on other agents where you can drag and drop. For example, I've been using Langflow, but it doesn't
Mhm.
really have that capability because I don't think probably they would introduce in future, but that's the first time that
Yeah.
I'm seeing it on n8n. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
according to you, what would be a aha moment for you when you see your agents in action? What would that be?
Hmm. Um, I guess it's like the moment where it actually mimics a human's brain. So when you think of n8n, it's actually 80% automation, right? So when you think about when it launched, I think it's almost like 10 years ago or like 8 to 7 years ago. So back then AI wasn't really that kind of a buzzword. But then recently, 2 years ago, they launched the AI agent node and things changed dramatically. I guess it's really why it's having this shift is AI agent is something that people still kind of believing, it's too good to be true. Like it mimics
Hmm.
human brain, it can think, can reason, it can solve very complex tasks. So I guess it's like whenever it hits the OpenAI API, for example, um, whenever it tries to reason, whenever it tries to actually drive a lot of business outcomes where it requires like, a team to do it. So that's the aha moment.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Got it. So I also want to ask you about the AI agency part because when I search on YouTube, I do get a lot of recommended videos about it. So what does it look like to, build an AI agencies and what tools, you would suggest to build current in the current market?
Yep. So I'm currently mostly being an AI consultant because I don't have
Okay.
a team yet. But then I guess it's like similar concepts if I am trying to scale my projects and clients. So I guess like when I talk to some of my people who try to consult or like giving me projects, they really don't really care about the automations or the nodes on the end. So they just want, how much time they're trying to save. They want the outcomes. And it makes sense because at the end, it's all about ROIs and whether they pay you, it's worth it, right? So I guess like first principle is to educate the clients. What should they look for? Giving them reliable business outcomes. And then also when people are starting out, try to niche down to one industry focus.
Hmm.
So for myself, I'm mostly doing content creation related AI stuff. So
Okay.
this is kind of like my niche. And then my clients ask for like, how do I post LinkedIn posts faster? How do I post YouTube shorts? How do I generate them? So I guess niche down and then prioritize them. If you have new clients, you may just need to do 10% customization and it just kind of like gives you a longer runway and bandwidth to take on more projects.
Got it. And how do you usually find your paying clients? Is it through your LinkedIn and probably other social media channels that you have?
Yeah, so mostly on YouTube and LinkedIn and some from
Okay.
my school community.
Okay, got it. So, what is the school community? If you could speak about it as well.
Yeah, so my school community, it's the community that I mentioned earlier, which is AI Business Lab. So just in a nutshell, it's a really popular platform these days for AI automation passionates or enthusiasts to start a community there, sharing their knowledge and also like talking about some business opportunities. Yeah, it's like Patreon, but more niche down to tech and all those stuff.
Got it. So, what advice would you have for people who are currently hobbyists and they're building a lot of agents and would probably like to, shift as a consultant like you or build an AI agency? What would a roadmap
Yeah,
look like for them?
yeah. So I think I could definitely share for my journey. So definitely um, learn as quick as possible by doing it in public. So, share some content, share your wins, and just kind of teach people, which is also the best way for you to learn. And then the next step is trying to actually do something useful beyond just some demos. So now it's like finding some people who want to work with you. Even the initial financial gain is not that high. But that kind of just builds up your portfolio, get some testimonials, and which increase your lead generation chances, right? And then later on, find the repeatable patterns so that you can scale your deliveries. And then at the end, it's kind of like if you really need more people, and then if you really just kind of want to scale 10x or even more, then you need to be hiring a team, managing projects, and just doing all those sort of marketing as well.
Got it. So, Grayson, you also spoke about, the community building part that you do on the AI Builder Lab. If you could speak about, how that activity that you do help you shape your process of learning and teaching as well.
Yeah, so I think also kind of touch upon that is to not build in silence, I guess. So really building a community forces me to actually build in public, teaches people, and also interact and engage with, the members. So in other things, I make it more bi-directional. So the members bring their actual real pain points. Some of them are interested in lead generation and, all those kind of workflow ideas. So I guess in some ways, it's actually good is that the ideas never come from myself anymore, but come from people who actually request from it, which just dramatically increases your PMF and also like higher chances of delivering things that people will pay for. So yeah.
Got it. And if I can ask you, because through these AI agents and the workflows that we build, we're trying to automate a lot of processes. How do you look at these automations from the ethical consideration as well? Because a lot of people who are doing that job today might not have to do it because we have an automation process for that. Or sometimes we over
Mhm.
automate a lot of processes which shouldn't be, because there always have to be a human in loop, or at least looking at it and validating it. So how do you look at it at a very high level?
Hmm. Yeah, I guess the entire industry are like I guess people are still adapting to this technology, and most of us are, sim this technology comes too quick, and most of us are not ready for it. But I have two kind of takes for this. So first, I guess from the employee side, try to embrace with AI instead of, being fear of AI replacing you. So ever since I actually start using more AI, I guess I definitely observe a lot of limitations, but the upsides are also huge. So I guess one of the limitation is that we still need a really good orchestration system of AIs and being aware of like, all those pitfalls like hallucinations, not having human in the loop and just kind of AI going rogue. So really be a good orchestrator. Think about how you properly use AI in your domain instead of just fearing it will replace you. I guess, which is also bringing to the employer point of view is eventually they will actually start realizing we still need people to have good use of AI, right? So they will still be needing employees to actually use these tools. So I guess employers also need to realize and adjust the workplace in letting how do I let employees engage with AI more effectively and just putting all those awareness all together.
Got it. I just have one more
Yeah.
question, because a lot of things are advancing at a very quick pace around AI. So, what advice would you like to give to somebody who is now going to a college? What should they be studying? Should they be studying computer science, or what would you think, do?
Right. So yeah, I guess that's a hot take. So I guess like, CEO of NVIDIA or like some other popular people also talked about. Um, I guess I kind of agree. So these days you really want to either you go hardcore or you go like creative. So I would say like coding these days, learning how to code is like a mid ground. So it's like pretty useful, but not as hardcore as you do physics or like research or like actually those who, engineer how GPT works or whatever. So I guess like from business point of view, I think we really need more people who can drive all those hardcore values, but at the same time, because AI still learn from all the past data, we still need some people who can actually drive new creative ideas. So I definitely double down on these two paths.
Hmm.
And yeah, so that's it.
Got it. So, if I ask if you want to, explain or teach a 10-year-old what an what an AI agent is, or how to build it, what is the first thing probably would show them or explain them?
Right. Hmm. Good question. So I think the more visual you have, the more things you can hear. It's better. So probably start with like voice-based agent. So it's something you can talk with, plug it in with a Telegram voice or like 11 Labs conversation AI, whatever. So they can talk through it. They can also see something immediately, right? Maybe show them some animations of how the AI agent responds, talk, just mimic a real conversation. And then from the conversation, they can understand how this AI agent can actually think, reason through stuff. It will be much better than you ask ChatGPT stuff. You type in your keyboard and then they show you a bunch of text. So I
Hmm.
think these will be the best way, in my opinion.
Got it. And since you have been observing the development which has been happening on the AI agent front, what do you think, in which direction are we headed in terms of AI agents, and what do you think we will be in next 2 years?
Yeah, so definitely I think AI agent gonna move mainstream. So and also being more abstract. So we're probably not gonna talk about, I'm building AI agent, but it's something that everyone does kind of. So probably like less kind of a prestigious thing, but more like a day-to-day thing. And also like the scales of people who are using them in everyday basis or building them. So maybe like I don't know, like in 10 years or 5 years, like there will be more AI agents than the population in the entire world that could be, or just like the volumes and things with delicate agents will be much higher. And then lastly, I think also something from the challenges side and the policies and things like that. So expect more legal stuff and countries like governments stepping in to define more in on the ethical side, legal side, the law and things like that.
Hmm, got it. But there's just one more thing that I was thinking about is, uh, so with more and more technologies and platforms coming in where it's becoming more and more easy for non-coders also to create agents, what do you think would be, an edge in terms of differentiator? Like, is it the domain knowledge that the person or the consultant comes with, or how do you
Mhm.
think could be a proper differentiator?
Yeah. So yeah, first I think you mentioned it as well. So it's like um really be a human, I guess, like understand what clients need. Because AI is just technology, right? So you're not actually delivering AI to the clients, but you are solving that problem. So again, back to how we do business 10 years ago, was like understand what people do, be a good listener. And then second, I would also double down is like, I guess attention is becoming even more expensive in the AI era. So a lot of noise, a lot of people like cloning products, SaaS and things. So really think about the distribution side, do some content, have inbound leads, do some more outreach and building a personal brand will be some differentiator as well.
Hmm, got it. I would give you a situation like, so if say you have $100 in 1 week, what is that one agent or an automation that you would like to build which would create value?
Hmm. I mean, $100 can probably do a lot of stuff. Yeah, in 1 week as well. So, but I mean, if I want to pick a niche, maybe probably just like kind of do some content stuff, because that's what I'm like specialized doing right now. And it also like kind of like generate more leads for me, and maybe I'll have 1,000 gained from all those content that I created. So yeah, yeah, I'll definitely do some content creation workloads
Got it.
and automations on that. Yeah.
Yeah, on that part, I just have one more question. I see a lot of creators who have their AI avatar speaking the content on their behalf. Do you also try that? Do you also use that on your own videos, on your explainers?
I haven't used it in production yet, to be honest, because
Okay.
so most of my videos are kind of long form. It's actually more expensive to use Avatar for long form videos. And also like the authenticity of using it on long form videos may be a little bit challenging. But I
Hmm,
definitely see some channels scale to a few millions using Agent Avatars or like some other, AI generate assisted generation. So definitely okay. But for myself, I haven't used it in a mass scale yet.
got it. And if I can ask you, one underrated AI tool or a workflow hack that you know and you wish that more and more people knew about it.
Hmm. Don't have a particular tool to mention, but I guess voice agents or like voice assisted tools. Because actually interesting to me is like for myself, I type quite fast, but a lot of like people I speak to, they actually didn't have the same, typing speed. So I guess with voice recognition technology being more and more advanced and accessible, definitely try to incorporate more, you know, just give a better UX in how you interact with agents. Try to do more voice stuff.
Got it. Uh,
Yeah.
Probably, if you could also tell us, your top five AI tools which you use on a daily basis, and you would
Okay.
recommend anybody using it, and those are your favorite. What would they be?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, definitely n8n for day-to-day business. And then I use Perplexity as well for some real-time kind of researches. And what else? Like Canva. Maybe it's partially AI related, but I use like a lot of graphic stuff for that. And what else? 11 Labs. I guess pretty much if you do a voice generation, it's pretty much the number one.
Hmm,
And I also like to use Fowl AI. Yeah, these are all like for my workflows, but Fowl
got it.
AI is like a mo model aggregator, which you have access to 100 different models via APIs. So I can
Okay.
build a lot of stuff with that.
Okay. Got it. That's nice. So my final question to you would be, what advice you would have to for the listeners who want to get started on AI or on AI agents today? How can they get started?
Yeah, so Try to build something as quick as possible. Not Don't try to just be a consumer. So I guess a lot of people who are trying to learn, they, do a 1 month sprint, just listening to podcasts, watching videos, but nothing really helps until you build your first agent. So really, the first thing you should do is to, open your n8n or just open any other development tools. Try to do something while you're consuming the content. And then once you've done that, you really get the momentum, and it's now to pick a niche and then just building some small practical project to start.
Got it. And thanks a lot, Grayson, for your time. And I would also like to ask you, how can, this podcast help you and how people can reach out to you if they want to connect with you? How is that possible?
Yeah, sure. So definitely would love to still keep growing the AI Builder Slack community. So if any listeners would love to, join, the community with 1,000 members or more, just learning AI automations together, talking about how, AI help our businesses, how our SaaS product, definitely would love you to join our community.
Got it. So thanks a lot, Grayson, for your time here and sharing your knowledge about n8n and the AI agents which you have been learning and you have been sharing on your channel. So thanks a lot again for your time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.